You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
Hey everybody, good to have you. Good to have you. 7:01 p.m. on the East Coast. We are in New York. The last days of New York before before Tanya Harding becomes the mayor. Not my mayor, but again, like I said, blast radius. That's enough to destabilize an entire region, to be honest. Anyway, it was a great show last night. I'm still getting great reviews coming in. I'm just, between the comments and all the emails. Frank loved it last night. And I got to, yeah, it was great. Leo, actually the other, that actually works both ways. But Leo Zagami is the guest tonight. I think. He's not the type that really needs to do a lot of confirming, but I have not spoken to him today. He's got the link, and he should be showing up in a couple minutes. He just usually shows up. That's just the way he is. He sticks to a schedule. He knows what he's doing, and I can't wait to speak with him, so I hope he's here. And I have a lot of things we're going to talk about on the outside of that. I have some stuff that leads us right into the flip side tonight, but yeah. As far as last night's show goes, it was, I agree with everybody on it being wonderful. It's always so smooth when Jay is by. It almost feels like a night off. And we did a whole third hour on the flip side. I will release time-stamped links to that sometime else. But you can always go and listen to it by clicking through on quitefrankly.tv, and right there are pilled.net right on the station page. And right when the normal show ends, the flip side begins. And that was wonderful. It was really good. My nephew even called in last night because word got back to him that we were talking about his football game. So that was nice. Anyhow, tonight I've got a whole bunch of things to talk to you about, regardless of our esteemed guest who's showing up. For example, you remember this story that we were starting to cover back in 2020. Well, it's coming to a head right now. Auto loan delinquencies are starting to soar, and repossessions on track to break record. This is by way of Zero Hedge. On Friday, we noted that auto loan delinquencies among low-tier consumers have surged 50% since 2010, as new vehicle prices have spiked over 25% since 2019, and 20% of borrowers forking over at least $1,000 a month for their depreciating asset at 9% APR, no less. You see, I wish I can go back and find the thread that we were reading through back then. Back around 2020, 2021 is when somebody in the used car business was trying to sound the alarm far and wide that there was going to be an obscene amount of repossessions because of the rates that people were agreeing to be able to get into cars. $1,000 a month. 20% of borrowers are forking over $1,000 a month. Is that for multiple cars? Or what kind of cars are they? I just don't know, man. But things are... That's it. Paycheck to paycheck. According to Goldman's survey published earlier this month, around 40% of Americans under the age of boomer report living paycheck to paycheck as inflation continues to erode purchasing power. Man, we've been lanced in the side. It's just so hard. You know, you're talking about a ship this size. That's why I'm saying austerity measures, man. And everything's got to be cut. So, this is what the second longest government shutdown in history. Make it the longest by years. But that means 500,000 more people are out of work, living hand to mouth with nothing. I said, well, you know, this is part of the issue. This is part of the problem. This is what was always going to sink us. But it provides ample cover, ample things to argue about, to obfuscate as you're going down in a fiery blaze. Here's another one for you. You want to talk about falling on hard times? A poll, 6 in 10 Americans would let a brand sponsor their wedding. Would you have a brand logo on your wedding cake or dress? 6 in 10 Americans would let a brand sponsor their wedding. Our research reveals. This is from talkresearch.com. The shocking stat emerged in a survey of 2,000 Americans, which examined people's attitudes toward wedding spends and found many would be happy to consider having their favorite brand contributing heavily toward the bill. Of those who have ever been married or were considering marriage, 61% said that they would consider having a brand sponsor for their big day or would have considered it at the time that they initially got married. Is that something that you would consider? Now, if you come from a family that planned ahead, if you have a father that planned ahead, and it's on me, honey. But if you're like many people who those kind of traditional arrangements are really becoming less and less prevalent, and you're out there doing it on your own, and you want to make it special, but you don't want to be too low. You don't want to be too low budget. I don't know. I know it's a big day, and everybody wants it to be special. Would you make some kind of a consideration for a sponsor? I mean, getting money from parents is sponsorship, right? It's just that they're not embroidering a patch, a Getty oil patch on your wedding veil. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Shell, Toys R Us on your lapel? I don't know. Nike. That's that. Let's see here. Our survey found that just 32% of respondents would reject all brand advances if additional finance was offered for wedding costs. How much brands need to cough up to be part of people's most treasured day? Organizations need to cover 65% of the wedding bill to be included in some way, according to our study. Many, 58%, would have a brand sponsor as a signature cocktail or a brand presence on their wedding stationery, napkins, or table plan. That sounds reasonable. The real thing is, are you going to be offending your guests by having them come to this day and be met with advertising all over the place? You know, because of obviously the guests at the wedding are the target. You want them leaving there and going right to Jiffy Lube and getting their oil changed. Imagine going to a wedding and getting a voucher for one free oil change. It's probably already happened. 1 in 3 would happily let the mascot of their favorite brand attend the wedding. No. No. Can you imagine the Michelin Man showing up to your wedding? The Kool-Aid Man smashing through the door? And 1/5 would even let the brand mascot officiate the wedding. Oh, that's 20% of these 2,000 people. So that they would let, I don't even know. So what would you do? That's worse than going to Las Vegas and doing the whole Elvis wedding thing, if you ask me. while over half, 54%, would happily let the brand give out freebies and merchandise to their guests. Oh, there's going to be freebies, all right. There's going to be freebies. So that's one thing. What would the price be to be able to, what would the price have to be to let a brand get in on your wedding? Now, obviously, you could say, oh, the price is the full cost. But what's the real price? What's the real cost on your end? It's one thing to be able to receive the money, but then you also have to receive a mascot. Like, what is the limits of what you would allow that brand to do? You know, if it's Dunkin' Donuts, for some people, let's say it's, Jim and Tiffany and all of their friends and family know just how much they love Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or, Orange Julius, which I still have not found one around me that's in a stone's throw away. But, I can see if somebody is like known to be a really big fan of a coffee or something like that. You say, oh, well, it makes sense. I can see a lot of people kind of like being accepting of that. It makes sense. You never see that guy without a Dunkin' Donuts cup in his hand. I can see that. But you guys let me know. I want to hear from you. And if you hear this after the fact, leave it in the comments. I'll go grab them tomorrow. Or email me, frank@quitefrankly.tv. But I would rather you leave a comment because that's going to help the algorithm as well. Just go right into the comment section for after the show. All right. Mystery. At 36,000 feet, what hit United Flight 1093? Interesting stuff here. Since the story was published, a possible lead has emerged in the mystery of what struck Flight 1093 last Thursday. A weather balloon company CEO has come forward saying he believes one of his own balloons was involved. Okay, so the mystery has been solved. Something hit a United Airlines jet cruising high over Utah early Thursday morning, and nobody knew what it was. It smashed the front window. And it was pretty high up there, too. The outer glass fractured. One of the pilots was injured. In photos shared online, the captain appeared to have injuries consistent with shattered glass, his forearm bloodied, shards of broken glass strewn across the flight deck. Scorch mark appeared across the impacted section. Whatever hit the aircraft left no debris, no residue, no clear explanation. Except now we know it was one of those Chinese balloons. You shoot it down with a $500,000 missile, or you can just send a United Airlines flight right through it. Now, I got in touch with our good friend Rick. Rick is a 747 pilot, and I asked him about this. Now, of course, at that time, we started learning about the CEO of the weather balloon company, and Rick said this. He said, "Hey, Frank, aside from the crew managing the situation beautifully, I really can't think of anything to add except perhaps the following. Why begin a descent from 36,000 feet to 26,000 feet? Well, the aircraft pressurized to differential pressure of about 8.4 PSI, that's pounds per square inch. I know that at least. At cruise to provide adequate air pressure for breathing. With the outer glass pane shattered, the outer pane is the outer part of the structural pressure vessel, and with that pane shattered, the integrity of the pressure vessel could be compromised, which is why a descent is a smart thing to do to reduce overall pressure differential between the inside of the aircraft and the outside atmosphere. The choice of 26,000 feet isn't random either, because you need to find an altitude which will clear all obstacles between your position and your designated alternate landing airport, as well as an altitude which gives you an acceptable fuel burn for said diversion. The lower the altitude, the higher the fuel burn, since fuel to air burn ratio remains constant at 14.69 parts air to unit of fuel. So the denser the air, the higher the fuel concentration needs to be maintained proper combustion. Hope that was interesting and helpful. Very interesting. And it just makes you, it just makes you realize how much more goes into flying a plane and existing that high up in the air for any given amount of time. Like, it's one thing to say, okay, well, I'm going to pull this lever. Here's the gas. Here are the flaps. Like your Mel Gibson in what the hell's that movie when he was the World War II test pilot and he went into he was frozen. Forever Young. I remember that movie. Who was the kid? Was that Elijah Wood? Hold on. Forever Young, Mel Gibson. Who the hell was the kid in that movie? Elijah Wood, 1992. That movie, I got to watch that movie again. I think he puts himself, his lover, the woman he loves, is like, goes into a coma. And then he says, oh, freeze me until she wakes up. I don't want to live without her. And then, of course, they put him in a refrigerator and forget all about him. And she wakes up and she anyway, you go watch it if you haven't seen it. But after that movie came out, and like I was saying to one of our guests earlier on in the week or last week, when you put on pay-per-view back in the day, whatever movie was out at that point was the movie you were watching for like 2 weeks straight until they reintroduced another film that is a recent release. And I watched Forever Young a lot. And I just loved all of the cockpit scenes, all the flying scenes. And also Elijah Wood had those scenes inside of like his treehouse where he's pretending to be a pilot. And he's using all these things to pretend to be levers and knobs and gauges and all that stuff. And we were always pretending to do that. I remember after that movie, I grabbed like sprinklers, lawn sprinklers, and all these other different things that I can use as devices. And just pretend I was flying in planes and, flipping switches and all that stuff and making. Anyway, that was Forever Young. And that is the life that Rick, the 747 pilot, lives every day. Isn't that something? It is 7:17, and I'm starting to think that we might be out without a guest. So, in a few minutes, I will open up the lines and ask you about your wedding sponsorship thresholds and what would happen there. Anything else you want to say? And I have more for you. Here's another one for you. It's some good news. This is some good news out of Minnesota. This is passed over to me by my producer, Krista. Hero mom and bus driver save kids before fire engulfs this school bus out in Minnesota. Take a look at this, man. This is something else.
Afternoon as a little girl comes home from school after the bus drops her off. Then her eagle-eyed mom notices smoke and flames under the hood. Look at the Ring camera video and you can see the fire building.
As soon as I got out the door is when I noticed the first flame right above the tire. And I immediately yelled fire.
Carrie Thorpe sprang into action to get the kids off the bus in front of her house in Bethel, Minnesota.
What was going through your mind when you were evacuating these kids?
I just wanted to get them off as quickly as we can because I didn't know what was going to happen and I didn't know how fast this fire, like if the fire was going to explode like right then and there or what.
The kids race to her front porch. All the while, smoke billows from under the hood of the bus. The kids are shaken. Several are in tears. All 22 kids are led away from the porch and down the block to get them as far away from the bus as possible in case it explodes. Before long, black smoke and flames engulf the front of the bus. You can even see the tires exploding from the heat.
How much time from when you saw that first flame until we see that image of the school bus just completely engulfed?
It may have been 5 minutes.
Here's the aftermath. The bus charred and gutted. The asphalt melted from the heat.
Carrie, what if you weren't there?
I honestly don't know how far that bus would have gotten and if we would have gotten those kids off safely.
And take a look at this amazing photo. That is the bus driver posing with all the students he helped escape. Parents say the children recently completed a safety course at school, which taught them how to evacuate during an emergency.
Well, thank God that information went to good use. The bus driver. Good for the bus driver. Helping everybody get out. I guess he didn't smell the smoke just yet. It was just getting out there. Damn, that was an inferno. Thankfully, you have the back door. The back door that everybody in my bus always tried to find a reason to open up. You've pulled out. Oh, we got pulled over a couple of times by the police. I remember I was in a sophomore, maybe I was a sophomore in high school, and things were getting so bad on the bus. Our bus driver, our first bus driver was Sheila. Black lady. She had these long ass fingernails. And she liked me. But everybody else was real bastards. They were. And I didn't say my freshman year, I just shut my mouth and just let everybody else do their thing. I started, waiting for my time for me to rise. But in that bus, I remember we got pulled over because the bus driver called the cops on us. There was just I forget what the hell was even happening. At that time, we used to love even doing things like going through all of our old cassette tapes, breaking open the cassette tapes where you just get the actual spool of the magnetic tape, and you just throw the spool out the window and you hold on to the other end. And this thing just starts unfurling as you're driving away, and you have I don't know how many yards of tape that's in there. So after a while, you're just driving to school and all that stuff. You're on these main roads and you're 30 miles an hour, whatever the hell it is, and you have all these little tails that are it was almost like a reversed kite, where you're flying the string instead of flying the kite. You are the kite. That was fun, and of course that was more of the innocent things that we were doing. Anyway, our buses never caught on fire. Never. But thank God those kids are all right. Have you ever had anything like that catch on fire for you? Now, I have another need for your stories, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be going to, I put this up on the Quite Frankly Speakeasy community on Twitter, but linked in there is a link to the official forum. This was just tweeted out a little while ago. There's not much on there. I put a little something to start us off. It's probably the only thing still there. Yeah, the only thing there. This is a fresh thread. We are calling all doctors, all nurses, anybody who work EMS, medical interns, anybody who has spent any time in healthcare or anything like that. I want your chilling, bizarre, perhaps funny stories, anything that has happened to you on call. We want to hear from nurses, doctors, anyone who has bizarre, chilling stories from work, unexplained moments, crazy emergency room visits, supernatural moments, hospital hauntings, stories of so-called terminal lucidity. I saw a few videos on terminal lucidity recently, and I kind of knew about it, but of course, when you see something shared on Instagram at 1 o'clock in the morning and you're just like, oh shit. And sometimes people make it more creepy than it is, but because I know it's pretty common for people in their last days or sometimes last hours to like almost have a rally. They rally a bit, and all of a sudden they come to and they're lucid and they are almost feeling good. And it gives people sometimes, if you're lucky, just enough time to say your goodbyes and to just feel good about leaving if you got that going for you, and that's it. But there were some creepy terminal lucidity stories that were passed around. There was also, listen, hospice nurses, anybody out there, I want you getting into this thread. I'd like to get it in before the end of October, but we still do a lot of this going into November. We start getting a little bit more lighthearted and stuff like that in December, but then we're right back into it in January. So please get on in there. I have 5 resources I put in myself. Comments on nurses, emergency room, extreme emergency room stories, especially this one poodle story, crazy. Hospice nurse stories that are anywhere from inspiring to creepy. This one hospice nurse who smells signs, smells things. The smells of what's going on there. We'll talk about that some other time too. So I just want to get you guys out there. I have put this in the forum. On the top of the forum, I've also tweeted it out there. It's inside the little Twitter community I set up. It's on the front page of my channel there. Quite Frankly TV on Twitter, or X, however you like it. I said X a little bit more last week. I said, you know what? That is actually a lot easier than saying Twitter. But whatever. All right, so that's what I have on that end. And our guest is not here, so we're going to continue on. Shotzi says, sending some positive midweek vibes. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. It's great to have you. I'm going to open up the lines now, and I have that one topic that I think we can fill some time in. I have plenty to do in the second half because I brought on a whole bunch of reels, and I have other stories to do. So the lines are going to be open. It's 914-200-0269. 914-200-0269. And the question is, 6 in 10 Americans would let a brand sponsor their wedding. Is there any price? Is there any price that would make you say yes? Or just assuming that they are going to pay for your entire wedding, is there any ask on the advertiser's part that would be the line in the sand? What would you allow? Would you allow the logos on the stationaries and on the cocktail napkins and on the tablecloths and stuff like that? Would you allow anything on your husband's tuxedo or on your dress? Maybe the little garter around the thigh when you start doing the sexy time on the dance floor. Maybe that. Maybe that is sponsored by Cumberland Farms. McDonald's. I can see those gigantic corporations starting to go into wedding sponsorships. If they haven't already, I can see it because it would be chump change, and that McDonald's doesn't need to do that. They don't need to do that. They got in on Olympics and all that stuff. 914-200-0269. Give me a buzz. I want to hear from you on that end, and there's more. Here's another one. I got a call. I got a voicemail left behind by Problematic Todd. Let's take a listen to this.
Frank, Problematic Todd here. I want to get you the report from Portland. Let you know what's going on out here. Tonight on your show, you showed a video of the protester who was in the park saying how she was living through a nightmare. That may have been Portland, actually. The background looked vaguely familiar. And you correctly pointed out that these people, they could be anywhere, doing anything on a beautiful, fall, sunny Saturday afternoon. They do not have to be subjecting themselves to this torture. And it kind of reminded me of me, because I had a few text messages this weekend from friends commenting on all the craziness that goes on out here in Portland. And I thought to myself, doesn't affect me. I was out on the golf course all afternoon on Saturday, as you described, colors exploding everywhere, like fire on the tree branches. It was beautiful. I didn't think about any of it. Rich. I love it when you have Rich on the show, but I got to say, whenever I see that backdrop behind him of those black cubes, it's a little concerning. It's a little concerning. As they say, signs and symbols, the black cube of Saturn, a lot of cult symbolism there. Kind of like the monarch butterfly on that poor girl's sign. Oh, Lord, Frank. Oh, Lord. You got to laugh. I'd like to throw out a shout out to Problematic Will. I will not complain.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, I don't think that Rich has picked his background to send out any kind of Saturnalia messages to people. And then, of course, at the end there is a shout out to Problematic Will in Texas, telling him that he will not comply with getting rid of his name, Problematic. This is going to be ugly. This will be ugly when it comes down to that. Hi, guy. Here's another nice little thing. This is going to probably just turned into a ambrosia of topics. I got a wonderful picture sent to me. And this is from, of course, our late beloved Gadget Doc, his family. Ever since Gadget Doc passed, I know that his father, Brian Sr., watches the show. And he sent a picture, not only holding a Quite Frankly Assault mug, the first edition of Quite Frankly Assault mug, but he's hanging out with Cam. And that is Gadget's son, who I haven't seen Cam since he was about maybe 12 or something like in person. I think he's 20 now, and I just can't believe the time. First of all, there's Gadget's father. There's Brian. You see him in the chat room. He's sub-vet, and you can see where Brian Jr. got all of his looks, and now where Cam got all of his looks. It's just really great to see them, and all the best to that family. Really wonderful. So I like that. And of course, Gadget is one of a great many that we miss, that we've gotten to know over the years, and who we've lost as well. And I gotta say, I don't want to jump the gun or anything like that, but I would just say, if you please just keep Nina Rocks in your prayers. Keep her soul in your prayers, though she's well taken care of in that respect. I've been in contact with her over the last few months, and tried the last couple of weeks to see how she's doing and all that stuff, and haven't gotten anything back. So, whatever, I hope that she's in good care. And I just want to let you guys and gals know that as well. Also, on that front, my mother is home. She might be watching right now, and I picked her up today around 11 o'clock. Picked her up today around 11 o'clock from the hospital because she had her shoulder replaced, and she is doing just fine. Of course, it's going to be a little bit tender, a little achy for her over the course of the next couple of weeks. But again, it's going to be something she's very happy. I know that all the relief, the anxiety of it just, looming is all behind her. So that's very nice. Other than that, there's something new every day. And after I dropped my mother off home and made sure that she was all set up and nice, that's when I went to go and watch Aurora. Aurora and her classmates, they put together a school presentation today. It was so cute. It was a surprise. Aurora is very good with surprises. If she has a gift for you, or if she's working on something for you, or if she knows that there's a surprise coming for somebody else, she likes teasing you about it, and she likes acting conspicuously. I don't know anything about that. I don't know. She likes just kind of like casting the reel out there, but casting a line to just kind of like nab your interest and pique it, but she'll never tell you, which I think is really cool. Because, being around those kids that kind of like blow your spot up all the time really sucks. But anyway, it was nice. We got there because next week is like a little bit of a break for her in her classmates. And all the kids, they were a continent. They learned about all the continents, and she was Europe. So that was nice. So she was Europe, and everybody got together and they sang this little song. And the best thing about this was, of course, it's right in line with this whole Montessori kind of approach to things. The kids, they designed the entire event. It was part of their event planning activities. And 3 of the older kids, Aurora being one of the 3 older kids, they put all their ideas together. The younger kids helped them facilitate their ideas. They thought about we should have popcorn and lemonade out for people. So they got to make popcorn. They got to make lemonade. They had lemonade with some honey in it and all that. And when we all showed up, we were shown to our seats by all the kids, and they were serving they with the ladles, serving it. Do you guys want lemonade? Do you want anything? They're putting popcorns and things. And then they did a little 3-minute presentation on all the continents, and it was very nice. And then I went back home to start working on the show tonight. A show that absolutely I didn't need to do any preparation for at all, as you can see, because it's just all slowly changing into something else. And as it has happened to me many times over 20 years, we're just going to roll with the punches. And in about 10 or 15 minutes is when I will officially close the Zoom meeting and really just concentrate more on who is calling in, which, please, for the love of God, call in. It is your show now. But that was very nice with Aurora today. It's better than It's better than when last week. I got to the, so, everything's very new. Still very new. It's the first time I've ever had a 5-year-old. It'll be the first time I have a 5-year-old, a 5.5-year-old, whatever the hell it is. But got to school, and of course there was an incident where we were told, there's one of the younger kids had was swinging a stick around and whapped Aurora in the face. Thankfully, didn't leave a mark, didn't leave anything. Just kind of bruised her ego a little bit and all that stuff. Nothing serious. Showed up to pick her up, and the teacher was telling us what happened and how it was resolved and all that. But of course, as soon as I heard somebody hit Aurora in the face, my mind started drifting. And there I was staring off for a moment, asking myself, so how does this work? Do I attack the 3-year-old like right now and the father? Do I wait for the father to show up, attack the 3-year-old and the father at the same? Do I just go for the father and maintain eye contact with the 3-year-old during the attack to send a message? Or what do I do? These are the eye contact. Remember this face. It's always something new. But no, I would never do anything like that. Just kids, just silliness, and I had to make myself laugh. Yeah. So that was that. All right. Okay. So we're going to go into something a little bit different now, since we're not going to be talking about the Vatican and anything else that was on tap for tonight, unfortunately. But what we will do is we're going to take a little bit of a shorter break. We're going to go on an intermission right now. When we come back, I'll have a couple of things lined up. The lines will be totally open and ready for you. And then we'll do some reels, and we'll probably end a little bit early tonight. Jump into the flip side a little bit early, just to maintain whatever I was going to do. Maybe actually see. If I had known this was going to happen, I would have powered up the drums and the electronic drums and the computer, and I would have done my drum stream tonight. I was going to do the after hours on the drums tomorrow on pill.net and quitefrankly.tv. I should have done it tonight, but what the hell do I know? All right, before I go on a little bit of a break, let me just tell you again, Tony Arterburn from quitefrankly.gold, just letting you all know the promo code Frankly is still active, and whatever you do, if it's a one-time purchase, let's say you're going to start buying little bits of silver so you can give it away on Christmas to all the kids in your family or your best friends or whatever it is, or if you get into a monthly Wolfpack membership, you're just getting into diversifying all of your investments. You feel like you're a little bit underrepresented in physical assets, and you want to get into some gold and silver, some gold backs, whatever it is. Tony says use a promo code Frankly on quitefrankly.gold or Wise Wolf, wherever you're going, and he's going to send you bonus bits of silver. And yes, gold and silver has crashed back down a little bit more, but again, we're talking about thousands of years of history, and to talk like one of them day traders, buy the dip, my friends, and just have a little something. You don't want to have to lug around 50 pounds of silver anytime you have to evacuate the house. Have a little something there and keep it in strategic places, and that's it. And also, you have one more week until we are picking 2 winners who will receive either a year subscription to KetoBrainz.com or picking from a host of groundbreaking peptides on MindThyMitochondria.com. Anthony just started his BPC 157 today. My mother's going to start it tonight. Both of those links for Keto Brainz and Mind Thy Mitochondria are in the episode bio, and all you need to do to get into the running for what is each prize is like $1,000 worth of incredible product. You just got to use promo code TREAT on your next purchase there. TREAT or any Quite Frankly promo code. Get in on it. All right, we got a week. That is going to be a Halloween special for you guys. We will be right back. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me. It's another one of those you and I nights, just, Gilligan's Island style. Thank you so much.
All right, let's talk health essentials, because apparently I need a whole science lab to function. So I need MCT oil for metabolism boost, check. Lion's Mane for brain health, check. L-Fin JPC for memory and focus, check. L-theanine for stress, check. And a superfood creamer because I need my coffee super creamy. Or I can just purchase myself some keto brains.
Welcome to intermission.
Okay. You know, what is your favorite, ladies and gentlemen? What is your favorite fun Halloween kind of film, like your fun monster film? Obviously, we got a little bit of Monster Squad. Last night, this past weekend, I said, Aurora, you want to watch a movie with me? This is on Sunday. She says, yeah. Because we had already gone outside and got all of our exercising in, and we cleaned up the yard and all that stuff, and it was just time to chill out a little bit. I said, you want to watch a movie? And she goes, what are we going to watch? I said, we are going to watch a movie called Ernest Scared Stupid. And it was the best with Jim Varney. And I told, she goes, who's Ernest? I said, you know who Ernest is? He does the voice of the Slinky Dog from Toy Story. She goes, oh. So it's her first time watching Ernest and all of his goofy antics and all that stuff. And I always loved Scared Stupid with Eartha Kitt and the trolls that can be zapped away with milk and all that stuff. And it was great. She watched the whole thing. We had a lot. She didn't know if she was going to be scared of the troll or all that stuff, but she's good like that. I know Aurora is going to love scary movies. She's going to also love. I think she likes. She's been on the kiddie roller coaster and the whip at Playland, so she likes rides. I don't know how far she's going to take the rides, but she likes thrills and she likes being scared. Even though I haven't showed her anything scary, that's for a while because I don't want to. I mean, sometimes I have done things like I played Call of Duty Zombies. And she sat down, she was watching me play zombies a little bit, and I think that contributed to like a weird dream that night, and it didn't. So for the reason that I would, Lauren and I would have to deal with the sleep disruption, I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy. But I thought she could handle this, and she loved it. So what is your pick there too? So we got the question about what you would allow your wedding sponsor to do to actually advertise to your wedding guests. We have your favorite childhood Halloween films, whatever the hell it is. I know it's not Vatican intrigue, but still it's something. 813, you're on the air. Who is this?
Holy crap. All right, Frank. How are you doing? 813, Tampa, Florida.
Hey, what's going on there? Yeah. Are you on speakerphone?
Yeah, let me do that.
Take that off.
Sorry. Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay.
I've been calling like a few times ever since the Aurora mention of getting slapped in the head with a stick.
Yeah, go ahead, A1C. Or A13.
No, I just got to know, like, if you show up to the school and the guy's like a raging liberal, maybe even like a train, do you handle it like even more differently than like staring the girl down while you're beating the guy up?
What? If the parent is a tranny?
No, you're so you're staring the little girl down that hit Aurora in the head, right?
Yeah.
As you're beating the guy up, you realize that he's a liberal tranny.
Well, I don't. Well, what would happen?
I mean, do you add a little extra to it, like
No, because it would already be bad enough. It'd already be bad enough because, of course, the reason why it's an absurd thought is because it's not warranted. They're just kids. It's just whatever. But you hear that somebody got hit in the head, and you don't even care about the context so far. You're like, what? You just want to jump into action and make it right. So it's assault one way or another. But it would only get worse for me if we started adding all those other layers to it, which it wouldn't. I mean, the reason why micro schools like this exist is to make sure that we're miles away from anything like that, the influence of anything like that. So that wouldn't have happened. If it was a public school, then I wouldn't be surprised if every other parent is trans. But that's that's not the case. All right. 914-200-0269. It is your show now. It is not my show. It is yours. All right. Larry Whitaker. Larry. Ichabod and Mr. Toad, the Headless Horseman with Bing Crosby. Wonderful. Larry, I think I might show Aurora that. That would be great. The animated. By the way, I have Larry's book over here on the couch. I got to show it one night. Larry's the guy who called in on the Saturday night special on the 7th or whatever the hell it was. We replayed the Saturday night special last Friday. And great call talking about his supernatural experience in India. And he has a pretty incredible resume as far as what the projects he's worked on in Hollywood and everything else. And it was a great story. You should go and listen to it. And we're going to be adding on to that this Saturday night, 9:00. I heard that people might be in costume. This Saturday night, 9:00. There's no paywall, ladies and gentlemen. We're live on Saturday night, 9:00 on pilled.net, which is also embedded on quitefrankly.tv. I'll be sharing all the Pilled links around all throughout the day on Saturday. And then again, in like the last 30 minutes leading up to, I'll put it into the stories on Instagram and all that stuff. It's not behind a paywall. You can enjoy it live, and it's very enjoyable. But if you can't make it because you're going out to a party or something else is happening, you'll be able to see it premiered the next night. That is Friday night, the 31st, Halloween night. All right, let's take a call. 301, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, how you doing? It's Mark from Maryland.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing?
Turn that off,
Hey,
please.
I have a dental trauma thing involving a baseball that I want to tell you. But the first thing I thought of was with this sponsorship. I thought of I have to get a wedding together, for my son this year, and I was thinking if they didn't know it and they showed up and it was all, Trojan, whatever the sponsorship would be, it was sort of.
You want to get a Trojan? You want to get Trojan to sponsor? That'd be funny.
Yeah, it would be, for giveaways anyway.
Yeah, well, it would be, but it's a wedding. This is the time when you stop wearing the Trojans, my friend.
If that's your plan and you don't want to, start a little career going. But I wanted to tell you a dental trauma, dude.
Go ahead.
It's the only one I ever had that was kind of like fierce in terms of like what I had to do. But baseball player, patient of mine, got hit in the mouth and he had braces on. And the brackets got like embedded in the soft tissue and it was kind of bloody. And, it was on a weekend and they called me in and stuff. And anyway, I had to anesthetize him and to remove the, the bracket and everything like that. Anyway, it's kind of a gory, kind of bloody thing for Halloween. So I thought I'd tell you that one.
Well, that is pretty bloody. I mean, I've seen quite a few. Well, not a few, thankfully, not too many, but I've seen there's at least 2 or 3 incidents over the 16 years that I coached baseball that I remember. Man,
mouth. Any
man.
mouth stuff?
Straight. We're talking fastball right to the mouth.
Oh,
Like
geez.
it's just
those traumas are horrible.
we teach the kids to. I mean, whenever something's inside. Well, I'll just do whenever it's just like in the middle of the season and I'm looking for different things, special skills to drill or whatever. It's just a nice safety drill to give some kids inside pitches and just to make them turn their back to an inside pitch instead of opening themselves. A lot of kids just kind of like put their hands up in the air and they turn and they open themselves up and they just come to face the ball that, they try to bail in the worst way possible.
Safety is good. Yeah, that's a great thing to teach. How about contusions? Like just a nice hard ball to the shin, those hurt.
Yeah. No, that's exactly that.
That's common. That's common.
It is common. And I was, though those are easiest to get past. You just kind of limp it off and all that stuff. And but the other things are worse. I mean, I even had a coach that took one to the face, but not by a kid. I had a coach. He was all my assistant coaches, they came and went over the course of 2 or 3 years because they usually came up with their child. And 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 thanks for the call. That it's a bloody event. My coach name is Rocco, and I said, Rocco, why don't you take some kids like 3 at a time over to the batting cage? We had an outside batting cage. I'll just let me know when you need another 3. Then they come out to do some, they'll get the fly balls, ground balls, whatever it is, and we would just create these systems where children were just getting reps constantly. There's nobody ever sitting around. They're always just getting reps, just ball drills, tees, live pitching and catching over in the corner. I had, older kids come back to coach other kids, whatever the hell it was. And Rocco was in the cage that day. And this one, they still have this machine there. It came in 2006 and it's still working pretty good. I love going over there and using it. But whenever you think that the machine is off, there's always one more ball that's going to be fired. And Rocco turned off the machine because one kid stopped hitting, and then it was just, all right, everybody, gather the balls. And everybody's gathering up all the balls and whatever to bring them over to the basket. And this was right after Rocco turned it off. Rocco comes around the front of the machine, and he goes to start bending down to pick up something right by the machine. And this machine threw a ball at point blank range right into his face. His nose was just like flat, and it's just blood coming down his lip. It's like, oh, son of a bitch. But of course, he took it well. He obviously he went home that day a little bit early just to clean up, but it wasn't, he wasn't like, that was really, the blood was the problem. He just kind of like breathed through it. He was all right. He didn't cry or anything like that. In fact, there was another kid. Was it Tyler? A little tiny lefty. Kid had balls, man. We were practicing throwing over to first base because on the 45-60 field, 45 feet from the pitcher's mound to the plate, that's Little League. But when we were going to go to a summer tournament somewhere else that went like to 50-70 field, that's the in between the 60-90, which everybody knows, high school, college, major leagues. When we would go to 50-70 field, it was large enough for kids to actually start taking leads off of the base. In Little League, you can't leave the base until the ball passes the plane of the plate. And anyway, this is when we were starting to teach kids how to step off the mound and throw over the first base. On the other hand, we're starting to teach kids how to take a proper lead off of first base and to acknowledge when a pitcher is going to throw over and to get back real quick before you get tagged out, where to slide, what part of the base to touch, and all that stuff. And I had a coach throwing over to first base. And we were just practicing with the kids scurrying back to first, just a couple of steps over and then head first dives. Well, coach hit Tyler right in the face. Right in the face. I think he had braces on there too. But I'll tell you something, man. Balls. This kid, couple of sniffles, never cried. And it's a little kid too. I said, Tyler, you are a badass. Had my hand on his helmet. Said, you are a badass, man. Breathe it out. You're doing. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be able to. I don't think that would be me. I don't know. If I was 10, 11 years old and I got a coach that threw it directly to my face, if my braces were hanging off, I think I would have done a little bit worse than he did. So you meet some real tough kids along the way. Anyway, thanks a lot, Mark. That was a good one. 914-200-0269. Now we're just riffing. And in a little bit, we'll start getting into all of these reels. There's plenty to do here. I have a creepy story. Take a listen to this. From ancient Earth, her face is serene, almost haunting, half smile frozen in time. Yet it has saved countless lives. This is the story of the unknown woman of the Seine, a young woman who drowned in the River Seine in Paris during the 1880s. Are you guys happy for me that I didn't say something like Seine? In those days, it was common practice to display unidentified corpses at the mortuary in the hope that someone might recognize and claim them. When the pathologist on duty encountered her, he was captivated by the calm, enigmatic expression on her face. Moved by her beauty and mystery, he commissioned a plaster cast of her visage, creating a death mask that would be replicated numerous times. This anonymous young woman, once lost to the waters, became immortalized in Parisian memory as an icon of quiet elegance and mystery. Decades later, in 1955, the story of this unknown woman took an unexpected turn. Asmund Lerdahl, a Norwegian toy maker, was designing a training mannequin for CPR. Seeking a natural and human appearance for his creation, he recalled the mask of the unknown woman that hung in his grandparents' home. Her calm, reassuring face became the model of Resusci Anne, the first CPR training doll. In the extraordinary way, the anonymous girl who drowned in the 19th century became the face that taught generations of rescuers how to save lives. Today, her influence is immeasurable. Though the countless hands that have practiced CPR on her likeness, she has become, in a sense, the most kissed face in history. It's all very weird. It is strange. The most kissed face in history. Though her identity remains a mystery, her quiet smile endures, linking a tragic past with a legacy of hope, courage, and life-saving skill. From a Paris mortuary to the classrooms and hospitals around the globe, the unknown woman of the Seine continues to touch the world in ways she could never have imagined. Well, what do you know? 208, you're on the air. What do you got for us tonight?
Hey, Frank. Nice to get through to you. This is Spud from Idaho.
Hello, from Idaho, you say?
Yeah, Spud, yep.
Wow, it's
I'm
good.
in the chat. People in Rumble will know me.
TL Spud?
But, huh?
TL Spud?
No, not L Spud. Spud Hill.
Spud Hill. Got you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, my favorite movie for Halloween is Silent Rage, actually. I'm not a big fan of horror movies, especially the stabby type stuff, but Silent Rage with Chuck Norris, finally the bad guy had to come against somebody that'd fight instead of some woman that just puts her hands up and screams while they stab her,
Yeah.
So that's why I like that one.
And this it came out on my birthday in 1982. Wait, so this is considered a Halloween film?
Well, I don't know, but you were talking about what kind of horror films you want, for Halloween. Well, that'd be mine.
Okay.
Because that, finally somebody stands against somebody that's, putting terror on people.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Spud Hill. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah. Could I tell one more story about our daughters?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, a funny story about my young daughter. Your kids, my daughters are grown now. They're adults, but, one of them's already in heaven, but one of them's an adult, 31. But anyway, when she was about like 4 or 5. And I wasn't there, but her grandma told us this story. It's so funny. I love it. I love to share it with people.
Go ahead.
Because you gotta enjoy your kids, the funny things. And anyway, the grandma always said her favorite thing. I mean, not her favorite, but she would tell the kids, she would just sometimes say, "Some people's kids," like just to pass off comment, some people's kids when they're being silly or something. Well, one time my daughter was sitting in the car in the parking lot eating an ice cream cone, and some older guy came walking by and took notice of her, and the window was down. It's a nice day, and he said, "Wow, that ice cream cone looks good," And my daughter said, "Yeah, it is," or something like that. And anyway, when he walked on by, and then my daughter looked at my grandma and said, "Some people's kids."
Yeah, I love those stories. What they start picking up, the phrases they pick up, and they start using, and sometimes they apply it in ways that are clever that they couldn't really imagine, because that old man that commented on her ice cream is somebody's kid. And when you really think about it, and I think about it a lot, we get old, but we're still just kids. It's true. You see it a lot. I saw it again when I was watching this. This Mother's Day video that popped up. It was this guy that was out there. I think it's San Francisco. Is that where McCovey Cove is, or is that McCovey Cove? I think so. In San Francisco, where you can hit if you hit the ball far enough, you hit it into the water, and there's always people out there in canoes and kayaks and all that stuff, waiting for home run balls. What was it? Let me see if I can actually find it. Mother's Day, McCovey Cove. Let me see if it pops up somewhere. Oh, here it is. Man catches a splash hit home run and dedicates it to his mom on Mother's Day. I just looked it up on YouTube, but I saw this on Instagram a few weeks ago, and it really stuck with me. Here you go. Listen, look at this.
High drive to right. Hit it to the water. Out of here.
So the guys, he went to go pick it up.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody. I'm at the Giants game in McCovey Cove, and Mike Yastrzemski just hit splash hit 93, and it landed right in front of me here. And Mom, I know you're up in heaven. Here's a Mother's Day ball to you. You're the best mom ever.
And I looked at that where he couldn't even get it out, and then he kind of squeaked out, "You're the best mom ever" at the end. And what is he, in his mid to late 50s? Still a kid. So, yeah. That's why when it's actually appropriate when a kid will squeak out one of those sayings that they pick up from one of their older family members, and it's applied incorrectly, you may think. But in the greater scheme of things, it's not. It's still very, very relevant. Okay. All right, let's go a little bit more. 914-200-0269. And you know what? Actually, this might be a good place to go into. Let's go over to Rumble. Make sure that everybody's all right over there, which I think they are. Very nice. Very nice. And then over here on Pilled. We have a couple on Pilled that I want to talk to. Here is the gold pills from Swickly. Thank you. Sentinel says you had a caller who was an animator and a writer call in. He has some interesting theories about fallen angels, the Nephilim, and pagan gods. So we decided to start watching the prophecy movies with Christopher Walken. Very fun. Yeah, that's Larry Whitaker, who left that super chat on the other platform. Sentinel. NX17 says, glad your mom's surgery is done. Wishing her a speedy recovery. I'm sure she appreciates that. And I wish speedy recoveries to everybody out there in the audience who's going through one corrective procedure or another, or is thinking about it. Just all the best to you. Safety Net 820 says, my 2-year-old, well taken care of, Chrysler Colt burnt all the way to the ground in the rain on the side of a mountain freeway when my sister, her 3 kids, and I were on our way to visit the grandfather at the VA hospital. We all got out and watched as the tires blew up. My 2-year-old, well taken care of Chrysler Colt. I want to know what that even looks like. I don't think I've ever seen a Chrysler Colt before. Chrysler Colt. Oh. These are old. Dodge. They're old. It's just too old. Yeah, okay. Well, it doesn't look like something that 2 years. What year was that? Here's a 1977 Dodge Colt 4-door sedan. Yeah, if you get 2 years out of that, I'd be surprised. I don't know. It just looks like a little clown car. Look at those wheels. They look like skateboard wheels. What the hell is this? How the hell we used to live? It used to be a proper country. It used to be. Hey, Safety Net Lynn, what year was your Colt? I want to know, because all of them look old over here. I'm looking late 70s. Then again, I mean, doesn't matter when you're driving it. You could have been driving it in the mid to late 80s, but I haven't found anything older than that just yet. 559, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to remember what year it was, but this was many years ago that this happened.
Can you turn? Wait. Can you turn off the stream in the background, please?
I did already.
Okay, cool.
Can you still hear you? I don't remember how old it was. I'm going to say I'm 19 something. It was old. It wasn't an old car then. This happened 30, 40 years ago.
Okay.
But it wasn't an old car then. It was only 2 years old.
Okay.
And what had happened is I had a person while I was having my oil changed and all kinds of checkup stuff done the day before we left for this trip. He said, "Hey, I got a new transmission fluid machine. Would you like a free checkup or a free transmission fluid change out?" And I said, "Well, sure, if it's free." I don't think the guy knew what he was doing. It was a new machine. I think he got fluid on a cord or whatever I want to say, undercarriage somehow. And I think the car all of a sudden started slowing down, losing power. And we pulled over to the side of the road. We got out, and my sister opened the hood of the car. When she opened the hood of the car, it went in flames. So my best guess is that he got some kind of fluid on some part that got on fire. But yeah, it's many years ago, but the car at the time was only 2 years old.
Okay. All right. So it wasn't the construction of the car. It was probably this guy was using new equipment that he didn't know how to wield properly.
Correct.
Well, Lynn, I'm glad you're well.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad you're well. You're in one piece. You weren't barbecued, and everything's fine.
No.
Good.
Got everything. Don't even know how we got ourselves out of the car. We got my purse out of the car. Here's another weird story, though. Called the fire department from a freeway phone, and that's fine. The fire department came after the car was already burned all the way to the ground, so they were no good. I got a bill in the mail weeks later saying that I needed to pay for the fire department because it was out of the county where I lived. And I called my insurance company and I said, "No, I'm not going to pay for this." I called the fire department because I didn't think you wanted me to have my car light the whole city on fire from the freeway. So that's why I called the fire department. No, I am not going to pay for it. My insurance will. And they did.
Wow. Well, so after the car burnt down, what was the next one you got into from the Colt?
Ooh, I got into a 1985 Honda Civic. My favorite car in my entire life. Really?
What did you like about the Civic the most back then?
Well, besides the fact I really like cars that weren't automatic, I don't know. You could drive it forever and it never fell apart. I got it with low mileage. I don't remember how low they are now, but I drove it all the way till like over 400 and whatever thousand miles, and I did finally have to change the engine, but
It's a CRX.
it just goes forever and ever.
What
And
did you did you have
parts aren't that expensive because it's not nothing was automatic. It was just.
Was it the 2-door CRX?
No, it was a 4-door.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you still drive manual to this day?
No, today I have an electric Spark. I'm not driving anymore, but I have an electric Chevy Spark.
Okay.
That someone drives for me, but I don't drive anymore.
Well, thank you for sharing, Lynn. It's great to hear from you.
Great to hear from you as well.
Okay.
Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. Well, you know where to find me. And as you can see, it's pretty easy to get in some nights. All right, let's cut to the chase. Let's get on over to some of the reels that I was watching before. A couple of these I set aside for myself. Others, I took right from the email. Especially when they're Instagram links. And I put them right into my reel review joy scrolling folder on Instagram where I don't look at them. Sometimes I read the captions so I have an understanding of what's going on. Well, let's just do some together. Here, this one. U.S. Secret Service and NYPD raided a number of bodegas caught stealing EBT food stamp funds and debit cards. I think this is in New York. Yes, it is. NYPD. But also Secret Service. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, Secret Service not only charged with protecting the president and other designated figures within our government, but they are often called in to investigate financial crimes, counterfeiting, things like that. So that's why Secret Service would come into a bodega in New York with NYPD and check out what's going on with all the welfare cards and the card readers. Hold on. Of course, everything is always muted to begin. Here we go.
Go? Yeah. You do your job. So somebody puts an EBT card in there. What do you close your eyes? You don't look?
So the clerk is denying accepting EBT, but an undercover cop used an EBT card moments before. So they have a reader there that I guess is not authorized, and somehow they're taking all that money and keeping it. I don't know how it works, but obviously the system works well for somebody, not for the people who are propping it all up.
I don't know. Well, what do you know?
So the reason we're here is for your food stamp machine. You don't have a license to take food stamps here. That white machine on the counter is a White Valor point of sale machine. You're going to tell me I don't do EBT? I don't have any machine. You're sure? Why don't you got your phone, call the owner. Tell him to come on down, we're going to have a little chat.
And then the extension that they had connected to it?
We'll look at it and see what the AMR is. But if it was in, a small store could generate $1 million in illegal transactions in a year without difficulty at all.
So this is becoming very popular.
Yes, unfortunately it is.
$1 million in transactions can be generated from a small store every year. Just from that one thing. Outside of the fact that everybody, lives on Gatorade. Wow. All right. So here's a guy catching Antifa vandals at a rally, so this was in Portland. David Medina. And here's the real it's the people he encounters along the way as he was trying to stop crime. Somebody that was spray painting the underside of an overpass, but also spray painting the side of a private business.
This is the problem. It's fucking graffiti. Fuck you. That's our city. That's your city.
Give a fuck. It's under a bridge. Jesus.
No, not here. Not here. They did a business over there. They did a business over there. It wasn't right there. You guys are the problem, man. You let people like that go away. They just committed on the building on a business.
And he's getting pushback from all of the libs in Portland, Oregon, who are just like, who cares? Stop. What are you? Some Trumpster?
Care about the business owner?
Are you a cop? Can you guys?
Do you not care about the business owner?
Are you a cop? Are you? Yeah. Are you a cop? Well, if you're not a cop, then what do you care what people do? Just who cares?
You don't care about the business owner. You guys are complicit. That's what the problem in the city. You let people like that do what they want. Yeah, get me on camera. You're the one that let a criminal go.
Just bring it down.
Yeah, and you're proud of it.
Hey, I got him.
You're proud of it.
Hold on. There's some yappy dogs are coming. I'm hear some yappy female do-gooders are on the way.
It's fine. Just relax. It's okay. It's okay. I have the right to do whatever I want when someone commits a crime. Yes, I do, and I just did.
And they're actually wearing hot dog costumes. You can make it up.
Man, you're in a hot dog suit. Shut up, man. Bitch, shut the fuck up. You guys just let a criminal go. Good job, Portland. Good job, Portland. You just let a criminal go. You just let a criminal go. Come here. Come here. Come here. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? All I was doing was stopping people who just graffitied a business. What about the business owner?
Okay, then go talk to the owner and file. Yeah.
No, we had the police on the way. Okay. Do you guys not care about that?
Okay. Go talk to the business owner, file a report, and let the person get away. You see, this is our curse. This is our curse as rational people, dealing with the hot dog suit creatures who have no ability to reason anymore. But their votes are worth just as much as ours are. That's our curse. The hot dog suit people, the hot dog costume people who have, maybe they never had the ability to reason. Maybe since the time that they slipped out of their last pair of diapers, they were already lost, because we know what the parents and their teachers and their babysitters are like. So I mean, maybe that's just the way it is, but that's our curse. We're going to have to live with what do we do with them? Because in saner societies, they would be severely limited in the way that they can express themselves in elections and in workplaces and everything else. But their mental disabilities are actually superpowers now. I don't know. It's like a skill. You can put it on a resume. I have this many phobias and this many insecurities and anxieties, and I hate white something, and we need more, whatever. It's just so fucking crazy. You can't talk to any of them. You can't. Here's a guy, Zach Sage. He went into New York City and he found some people to see if they will sign on for Zohran Mamdani. Take a listen to this. Oh, always. Here we go.
Zohran, you are.
Yeah.
Can I get your signature for support?
Sure.
Okay, wait, I'm required by law. I just have to read you like 3 of these policies. You're cool to elect a mayor who won't condemn Sharia law.
Sharia law. I'm denouncing them. I'm asking you. I'm running.
Okay, cool.
I don't know about that. But
Oh, you don't?
Well, what is this?
It's just like a lot of his policy positions and stuff. You have to recognize the DSA's Bill of Rights socialism, so he'd replace the Bill of Rights with... You can read all this. This is out there. You still want to do it or no? Oh, he's going to tax white people higher. It's on his website first.
I just don't think that this is exactly his policies.
Yeah. You can look all of it up. No, this is literally the first thing on his website about taxing whiter neighborhoods.
It doesn't say whiter.
No, it literally says whiter neighborhoods. Okay.
I don't know what's going on here.
Wait, so you voted for him the...
Yeah, it's a very, again, they always hit a point, very, very strong point when they don't think they are. I don't know what's going on here. You certainly don't, honey. You certainly don't. But I bet you any money, when election day rolls around, you're going to go smudge your thumb in Iraqi purple ink and get my mom daddy. What a dummy. They don't even know what Sharia law is. They wouldn't care if they did. And speaking of not caring if they did, here is another example of the 19th Amendment at work. Back in New York, same guy.
Planning on voting for Zohran Mamdani? It's just a pledge for support.
Absolutely.
Amazing. And then I just have to read you at least 3 of his policies. Take 2 seconds.
Very aware of them already.
Oh, and you like
them? Oh, I know all of them. Thank you. Quiz me. I don't even need multiple choice. I am his policies.
Mom?
Yes,
Okay,
I love
cool. All right, so you're cool with taxing whiter neighborhoods?
Yes.
Are you white?
Yes.
Do you think that's race baiting? No. Really?
No, we suck. Come on, we suck. No, we need to be taxed. To be honest, we should all, come on. Whatever. This is why white liberal women, Lord deliver us from them. They are the worst because they're so, they love the idea of white privilege. They love it more than anybody else. Non-white liberals, they love the idea of white privilege because it gives them a very lazy crutch to lean on, that if you don't have to think, you don't really have to debate, you just talk about ethereal things and you reach back hundreds and hundreds of years and you grab slavery and you grab whatever the hell you want and you say the reason why we have nice things today is because 400 years ago, blah, 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 and it was all because of me. So stupid. And but with white people, with white liberals like this, they love white privilege because they believe, well, I do have this superpower. That makes me powerful. That makes my voice valuable because when I put my voice, my privileged, powerful white voice to this stupid cause, then well, I'm Supergirl. I just saved all the people on that train because nobody else had the power. Nobody else had the power. That's it. I can make the wrongs of the world right because I'm white. So that's where they all come from. They're out of their minds, and they're never going to see otherwise. Let's keep going. She gets worse.
Yeah, it's fine. Who cares? Okay, he's openly discriminated against Italians, but whatever.
I'm Italian.
Yeah, dude, literally.
Yeah, we don't claim you. I don't know what the hell you are. Hey, I'm Italian. I'm trying to look at this thing right now. What are you? 132nd? I don't know what. Italian. Whoever she is, she's a disgrace.
Honestly, pizza's not even that good. Okay, and then he won't sign Holocaust remembrance legislation. Do we need to remember? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Have a nice day. Thank you. It was insane.
No. Things are really. People are not right. People are not right. I mean, the Holocaust remembrance, whatever the hell that was, that's not going to move the needle for me either. How many more museums and how many more monuments and remembrances? What do you? So that doesn't anything. But when you actually have policies that are aimed at taxing people because they have lighter shades of skin, I mean, that's just nuts, but people are willing to show how nuts they are. This one is hilarious. Feds in Portland, they used, I guess, Donald Trump's voice, might be AI or something like that. And they were projecting Donald Trump's voice out into public during their crowd control, their attempts to control the crowd. So you're going to hear Donald Trump's voice, what sounds like Donald Trump, projected out into public and the reactions. Dad? That's Dad. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing.
This is the Federal Protective Service. The facility is closed and not open to the public. Stay out of the area of the driveway to allow for vehicular traffic. Remain on the sidewalk.
That's good. That should be standard practice, if you ask me. That should be standard practice. Okay, so we have a skier over here. This guy, M. Goatman IV. I saw a line crossing over for a couple of snow bridges while heading up the Squawk Glacier on Mount Baker. I was aiming for what I thought was the second snow bridge, but it ended up being a bit further. Good thing I was able to react quickly. So there was a huge abyss that this guy crosses over. Take a look at this. He didn't know. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. No. No, I'm taking the skis off and I'm walking the way home. One of the comments over here says, I'm driving home with the music off after that one. Yeah. And I'm walking to the car. Take the damn skis off. I don't know why. I just don't get it. I don't understand why people go to the ends of the earth just to slide down a gigantic mountain with nothing but death obstacles along the way. I'm going to go to the end of the earth and slide down the ice wall itself. I saw somebody slide right off of a mountain the other day. I said, oh, jeez. That was their vacation. So somebody was on the top of a mountain ridge, probably somewhere in Nepal. I don't know where the hell it was, but they slipped and they slid right down to their death and then disappeared off the edge. And everybody's just like, oh. And that was that person's vacation. Let's go to the mountain and get to the top of it. Thousands of feet up. Yeah, sure. Any twist in one direction is going to be the end of me and my lineage. But that's fine. I need to relax. The back porch is not enough. All right, now here is an example of technology that I can get behind. And that I always hoped that you want to call it AI, cybernetics, anything else like that. I really always hoped that this would be the primary usage of it. Here is a woman. Her name is Jess Tawil. It's been 10 years since she's been able to stand on her own 2 feet. I think she was in a catastrophic car accident that left her paralyzed, but now she's in a robotic exoskeleton kind of a thing, and it's giving her some kind of an idea of what independence in the future might mean for her. And take a look at this. I think it's really wonderful.
Okay, turn.
Turn.
What do you mean turn?
Yeah, so
Yellow.
bring it to your left. Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No,
just
you're
give me a
totally fine.
second.
No, that's why we do this.
I don't know if this is like a common reaction, but like. Okay, not bad. Okay, not bad.
Not bad.
Okay, not bad. Yeah. Okay.
That was good. Ways next to it. Your job is going to be behind it.
Okay. Oh my god, am I walking? Ah!
Yeah. So now let's go forward.
Oh my god, this is bad. Oh my god, this is so much fun. Ah, walking. Okay.
So you want to drive it like you're. Yep.
Oh,
I'm telling you guys, I see stuff like this and I'm just, don't take being able to, oh man, you wake up in the middle of the night and you're annoyed because, oh shit, I have to pee. I don't want to get out of bed. Be grateful that you can make that walk to the bathroom. Because I take it for granted all the time. Then I come across a reel like this at 12:47 in the morning. Be grateful that you can walk to the bathroom to take that inconvenient pee. Okay, so here's a little something for you that I just learned today, even though it came off of, this is the reason why I was on Tumblr for so many years and it's still there, because every once in a while you will get a great thread like this, and this screenshot of this thread made its way over to Instagram, so we grabbed it. Listen to this. This is about the loud American. Do you know what the loud American role is in Japanese businesses? Okay, well, the best thing I learned today, said Canadian Gold, the loud American role in Japanese businesses. What is that? Nobody asked, but I'm explained anyway. No idea how it came up, but my programming professor was talking about his friend who works for Nintendo Japan, whose secondary role is the loud American, and my professor explained what that was and how it came about. You see, in Japan, you do not talk back to your boss. You just don't, even if they have stupid ideas and they want the company to act on them, like Nissan did some time back. But since the other employees couldn't do anything about this terrible idea, that would ruin the company. They called in an American who had no reservations about telling the boss that their stupid idea was a stupid idea. And that's just become a role in Japanese businesses where they keep an American on staff who plays up the American stereotype and tells the boss what the Japanese employee can't or won't out of social norms. And of course, a couple of people responded to that. Well, this is my dream job. I know what I want to do now. Did you know about this? Do we have any Japanese loud Americans in the room on the show today? You can call me at 914-200-0269. It's been largely just I mean, hell, that's great. I'm a loud American business associate in Japan. That's fantastic. You know, sometimes Japanese honor is just a little bit too much for me. I love it. I want like 98% of it. But the inability to tell a boss, I mean, what, you can't be diplomatic about it? How is that like, why is that such a dishonor to say, sir, I think we're making it. No, you can even make it softer than that. But that's, I don't know. I know, honor to the point where you have like detrimental self-censorship. I don't know. What's this? Frank, try this challenge at home or on the show. This is, let's see, trying to keep a poker face while listening to this audio. Let me see what the audio is first. Just a little bit of it. These two girls, they're staring into the... Their faces are making me laugh off the bat. Okay, let's see.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Arby's, we have Pepsi.
Arby's?
Oh. Arby's. Two of those things for just chicken.
Wait a second. Is this a mangled Arby's commercial? Or wait, okay, so I guess it's just a series of mangled Arby's commercials that sound so weird. Okay, well, then let's see if I can try this. Let's see if I can do it. I will try it. Let me see if I can look into the camera. Poker face. So that means no smirk? This is going to be very hard for me. Just because of the circumstances alone.
Oh. Arby's. Two of those things for just chicken. Arby's. We have the chicken. Surreal. Arby's is really starting to second guess this Pepsi. Beef.
Hold on. This is so bad. It's so chaotic. Why did they choose Arby's? Hold on. I never had anything from Arby's before, but we get all the damn Arby's commercials. It's so chaotic.
Pepsi. Two of those things for just $6. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Arby's. We have Pepsi. Oh. Arby's. Two of those things for just chicken.
Why is it so funny? It's so stupid. Why did they choose Arby's? It just makes it. Oh wait, I really want to I want to do this. I really want to try this. I really want to attempt to. I don't want to fuck up. Come on. We can do this. All right. I know what's coming. That we have the meats.
Arby's, we have the chicken. Surreal. Surreal. Arby's is really starting to second guess this Pepsi. Beef. Pepsi. 2 of those things for just $6. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Arby's, we have.
Yeah, I can't. Well, I was getting better at the end. If we listen to it for another hour, I'll be desensitized. So let's do that. All right. Well, if you find me another one of these, send it to me. Because that was fun. I wonder who came up with that. To butcher Arby's like that. All right. This is funny. It's no way he's about to tell me any good news. It's a doctor looking at somebody's scans. He doesn't look like he's... Oh, no. This is how my father describes every doctor's visit he goes to. Look some of the comments. Whatever he tells you, get a second opinion. He's trying to figure out how to tell how you're still alive. My father makes comments like this all the time. That's funny. Hold on, let's take a call. 403, what do you got?
Hey, Frank, I want to slap your butt cheeks.
Oh, thank you. Okay, we needed that. Good. Well, nice. All right, let's see. Why didn't Phil Collins play like this? This was sent to me, too. It's a guy on a drum set. Looks kind of heavy metal-y to me, just by his goatee. Let's... Nice, very tasteful. Very tasteful. Just really let the beat breathe. Just got to let the music breathe a little bit there. Very, very good. I bet you there's a lot of people in the comments of that particular video who don't get the joke. All right, here's another one for you. Grumpler says, kill Osama bin Laden before 9/11 to prevent 50 Shades of Grey being conceived. I said, I got to talk about this. We were just talking about erotica the other night. 50 Shades of Grey came up like 5 times. Well, what the hell is Osama bin Laden, 9/11, and 50 Shades of Grey have to do with each other? You might ask. And so did I. Steph says, how are those two related? And Grumpier says, Gerard Way witnessed 9/11 and was inspired to start the band My Chemical Romance. My Chemical Romance, the music inspired Stephanie Meyer to write Twilight. So 50 Shades began as Twilight fanfic. And as we all know, 50 Shades began as a Twilight fanfic. That was one of the things that went out there. It was supposed to be like, if you were going to write your own Star Wars installation, but it's you and you wanted to use all the characters and stuff. So there is a line, there's a line of influence here. It's confirmed, I guess. Osama bin Laden, at least, as far as all the characters in the play. 9/11, My Chemical Romance, and then Stephanie Meyer, Twilight, and then 50 Shades of Grey beginning as a Twilight fanfic. That last comment in the thread really takes the cake there. I didn't know there was such a dark side to that day. I know who would have known that there was such a dark side to 9/11, and it was really just 50 Shades of Grey would eventually come out however many years later. Okay, let's take another crack at this. All right, is this normal? Looks like a cat video to me. Let's do it. Those cats every night or else they won't walk up to the bowl? What kind of a ritual is that? That's kind of funny. They just stare at the bowl We have not been shaken yet, master. We have not been shaking. Please being shaking. Please being shaking. Well, of course. Anyway, yeah. Here you go. Your brain doesn't work fast enough in a social interaction. Oh, I have plenty of these.
It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
Yes, it's a beautiful.
I had so many of those weird interactions when I worked at Modell's. I asked somebody what your problem is. I said, "What you?" I said, "Like, do you have a problem?" I wanted to ask them if they need any help. They were one of the last people that came into the store that night. You know, they came in like 10 minutes before closing. We couldn't technically tell them we were closed. And I guess I was a little pissed off. And it came out. I asked them if they like almost like a "what's your problem" kind of a thing. There's so many other things. Take you later. How many times say I take you later? Take me where? Because I was going to take it easy. See you later. I hate when that happens. I hate with that. I'm definitely in this category of person. I'm not a smooth talker all the time. As you can see, you've seen me talk. So what the hell is this? I don't even want to press play. I don't even want to press play because I know what this is. I know what this is. This is ASMR. This is one of the darkest corners of the internet, the ASMR people. I'm sorry, there's probably a few of you out there. You need to be relocated. Okay? I know exactly what's going to happen when I press play. And I hate myself for it.
We got some poop chunks in there.
Stop whispering! Why do they do this? Why do you people do this? What's wrong with you? What happened to you? You know, everybody's got like a reason for their fetish. What happened to you that you need somebody to... What happened to you? Poop? What the hell is poop? What are you fucking talking about? What is this thing?
This is like... Oh.
Ugh, fucking... Ugh! Why do you do this? What's wrong with you people? What's wrong with the ASMR people? What happened to you? Email me. We can keep this private. What happened to you? I need to know what happened. I need to know what happened to you. Nikki says, get a cool fetish. I don't get it. I don't get it. People, they have they put their French tip fingernails on. They start tapping glasses and they're crunch. Man, it's so fucking strange. Yeah, man. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think my buddy Mike sent that to me. I'm seeing this in the sent folder. I might have lifted out, but maybe not. Maybe not. We need a variety of things here. Blind cigarette taste test. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. There's been a couple of times that I wanted to leave a club. I wanted to go outside of a club or a lounge or something, but there's no re-entry. So the only way you can go outside is if you smoke a cigarette. So I'd have a buddy give me a cigarette, and I'd go out there and I would puff on it like a cigar. But I've never smoked a cigarette before. But this guy is taking the Pepsi challenge. Looks like he's got Marlboro Red, Parliament, Marlboro Light, American Spirit, and Newport. Newport was what Mike used to smoke all the time. That was the minty one. Anyway, let's take a see. Let's see what this veteran has to say if he nails them all.
Marlboro Reds,
You want to taste the tobacco. That's why you smoke cigarettes. It tastes something cheap like a Parliament. Non-smokers smoke that stuff. It's a very light taste. It wouldn't be my type of cigarette. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Marlboro Light, you know? Like American Spirit, one of those earthy cigarettes for people too cheap to buy Marlboro. Whoa, now that one I know is not a Marlboro, it's a menthol. Oh my God, a Newport, oh my God, I don't know who the hell smokes it. Am I correct or am I wrong?
Yes, you are. You're correct.
Okay, so I know my cigarettes. I do not promote smoking, but if you're gonna smoke, smoke quality.
Okay, let me look at the comments on this one. Too cheap to buy Marlboro? Isn't it the other way around? Wait, so cigarettes are cool? Is this the guy who smokes while running? He smoked a pack a day since he was 15. He's 23 now. Oh man. That's a skill. It is. 214, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, it's Melody.
Hey, Mel.
Hey, I just have to say something. Forgive the road noise in the background. I'm driving to my job right now. But I know, like, you've already blown past this. But dude, listen, I literally had to pull over. I was laughing so freaking hard over the ski guy. The guy that, like, with the abyss, and then you said the quote, and I'm sorry, but you got to get it, like, on a T-shirt when you go, when the back porch is not enough.
Oh, yes.
Dude,
yes.
I was crying. I was laughing so freaking hard because it's so true. These mountain people that are like, I just got to relax and go do some death-defying stuff.
Yeah.
It's so, oh, my God, dude. I stopped. I had to watch it again, and I was crying. Laughing, and I needed that laugh so hard. You have no idea.
Well, I'm glad.
I just had to call and tell you.
I'm glad it got your way. I'm glad you got what you needed tonight, Melody. I really am. I understand. Listen, if it isn't for the adventurers, if it isn't for the risk takers, and we're talking risks that defy all reason sometimes and puts your life on the line. It's those types of risk takers that sometimes and many times have brought about major breakthroughs that bring entire civilizations to take giant leaps forward. But I still don't understand the recreation side of this thing, man. I don't understand it sometimes.
Dude, I have a friend who goes deep sea cave diving, and is like, "Hey, you want to go?" And it's a hard no. It's a hard no for me.
But when you say
I'm not going in no cave.
When you say
you know what
deep
I
sea,
mean?
what do you mean by deep sea cave diving, though? Do they stay inside? Do they find caves that are big enough to be able to go inside with their entire submersible, or are you talking deep enough, shallow enough that they can be out there and in some kind of scuba gear?
Yeah, they're in scuba gear, but
Okay.
the caves are like, I've seen some of the GoPro video from it, and it's so tight in there, and you're like, and they don't know, they don't have a map. They try to find new freaking entry points.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Stuff, and I'm like, no, it's a hard no, man. It's a hard no, and like that's vacation. Like you're gonna work the whole year. You're gonna take 3 weeks off to go and like die in a cave somewhere. Like nobody's ever gonna find you. It's not charted. It's just a hard no.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, all those. It's under the water, like the Nope water, and then Nope mountains. It's just all Nope. It's all Nope for me.
Well, we're on the same
Yeah.
page, Mel. Thank you so much for the call.
Yeah, you bet.
You got
Great
it.
show.
Take
Thanks.
care. I'd love to go snorkeling. I've never done a proper snorkel. Ladies and gentlemen. I would love to be able to get into some crystal blue water and to snorkel about and look at things under there and get under there, whatever, find a anemone somewhere and hang out with the clownfish and some coral reef or whatever. I would love that. I would love to learn even how to, I would put on a small scuba, I don't know, any kind of apparatus like that, just so I can stay underwater for about 20 minutes straight and not have to come up for air. That would be wonderful. But there's something about going into an underground cave or underwater cave. damn. I sometimes watch those videos just to be able to trigger my claustrophobia and to like work through it, because it gets me going. Just watching it, like, how the hell? I mean, I can understand if there's some kind of a treasure on the other hand, but the whole point is I squeezed through impossibly narrow slabs of earth and came back. Came out of the same hole that I went into. No, there's no gold down there. The pirate did not bury its treasure down there. There's nothing down there. It's impossibly tight slabs, walls of rock. And that's it. And I might die. But you know what? It's all worth it. Don't ask me why. Maybe you can always fall back on you're overcoming something. You're overcoming something. Like, for example, I always ask myself, if I were the main character in Shawshank Redemption, and I knew that at the other end of that quarter-mile shit pipe, is freedom, could I actually get through the entire pipe? Could I actually do it? You know, if freedom is over there, it's freedom or staying for the rest of your life wrongfully accused, wrongfully convicted, wrongfully sentenced in prison. What could you actually do it? Now, for that, it would be very hard for me to work it up. I think I might make the attempt. If it was Aurora in there, I'd have to go. It would be the scariest thing ever. I'd have to go. But then again, that defies all the reasons why some of these people go into these caves and just, you know, wedge themselves in between granite and say into the camera, okay, I'm a little stuck. It's getting a little tight. They're wedged in there. It's getting a little tight now. If I can just move, if I could just get my, you don't know what the hell's going on. Like, why? What are you doing? Is there a leprechaun down there? There's nothing. Your daughter falls into a well. Okay. But why? Why are you in there? Get the hell out. Ridiculous. Okay. Well, that's all I have for you tonight. And we are going to move things over into the other side of tonight, onto the flip side. Now, on the other side of the end credits, I have a few things that we're going to watch. I'm going to be looking at the general chat and all that stuff, but I also have a couple of videos to watch and stupid stuff to do. We just like chilling, and it really always ends up being a fun time. So come hang with us. I'll be putting the link into the chat rooms. You'll be able to see it there. Let me make sure that I didn't get anything. I didn't miss anything in our super chats here. Larry, thank you again. Joe Martinez, thank you again. It's been great to have you guys and gals supporting the show. Even on nights when we did something drastically different from what I had planned. I haven't even gotten an email from my scheduled guest. I don't think they even realized that they were scheduled tonight yet. I might be getting maybe an apology tomorrow, and hopefully everything is all right. I always hope that everybody's all right. And thankfully I had a lot of backup. But yeah. All right. Well, that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been great. Thank you again. I'll be releasing all the gold pills and the D Live stuff right now. Jeannie Yankee fan over there on Tumblr, on Twitch. I'm sorry, it's that Tumblr purple. Thank you, Frank. Well, thank you. It's great to have you all aboard. Become a sponsor of the show, ladies and gents. There's so many reasons why we need you to become a sponsor. Just get behind the boulder with me and help me push. We got to get this boulder to the top of the hill. We have only a little ways to go to hit some goals on Subscribestar. That is production goals. I don't know what the quote for this room is going to be. I get on the phone with the studio architect tomorrow morning around 11 a.m. But all of your help. If you're ever looking for a place to pledge $5, $10 a month for a show that is here reliably for you, every night of the week in one form or another, and now with new projects starting and in more well-defined weekend programming. Remember, there were many, many months. There was like a whole year where I barely had any Saturday night specials because I couldn't get anybody in and have any concepts. Now things are starting to come around. And even when I'm not on air 5 nights a week, you get 5 nights a week of broadcast. So there's always more being done. And I give so much more to the monthly sponsors, from everything from the exclusive promo codes and exclusive content. The Sunday streams are just magical. I love hanging out with you guys on Sunday mornings for a little while, having some coffee and talking family and everything else. And it's just we're getting into a magical time of year, and I like gathering family closer. So become a more intimate part of the family. You can go right here. Take out your phone, take out the camera, and focus in on that QR code right there. Click the link on the screen, and there you have it. You'll go right to quitefrankly.tv/sponsor, and you'll see all of your options right through the website. There's Patreon, Subscribestar. Would be an honor to have you, and it's going to be necessary to have you. We got to compete, and we got to start stepping on some toes over here. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. We're going to have a good one to end the week, the Quite Frankly week, because remember, Friday night, 7 o'clock, we'll be live for the Playhouse. We've got a great guest Anthony and I are bringing on for Friday night. Tank the Tech, very popular YouTuber who also is a tour manager, and he knows Anthony from years ago. So we're going to be talking about the ins and outs of touring, where all the money really costs, why tours are becoming more and more expensive, what's happening to the music scene and all that shit. It's going to be great. And then Saturday night, 9 o'clock, it's not behind a paywall. It's free for everybody. Right there on quitefrankly.tv, pill.net. As long as you're subscribed to us on Discord and Telegram and everywhere else, you're going to get the links delivered right to you. And I'm going to deliver you the link right now in the chat room. Leave a comment, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe wherever the hell it is, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Quite Frankly, film before a live studio audience. Thank you to all of our super chatters, and to you, the audience, live and on demand. You are the best, and we will see you on the flip side. Check the chats right now. Take care.